The aliens thought we were weak, fragile, primitive. They came to Earth expecting an easy conquest. But when the sky burned and their warships fell, they learned the truth: humans don't stay broken. This is the story of the day the galaxy realized what it means to fight humanity. When the Arkan Dominion first arrived in Earth's skies, they didn't come in peace. Their fleets blotted out the stars, their warships dwarfing our most advanced carriers. To them, we were ants, a young, primitive species not worth negotiating with. In the Dominion's archives, we were listed as biologically fragile, technologically inferior, socially volatile. In short, weak. The generals boasted that conquering Earth would take no more than a week. A simple show of force, a reminder to other young civilizations of what happens when you resist. And for the first few days, it looked like they were right. Their orbital bombardments reduced entire cities to rubble. Our satellites were ripped from orbit, our communications jammed. Nations bickered, mistrusted one another, some even surrendered outright. The Archons watched from their thrones of steel and crystal, amused. They had seen it 1,000 times. Another primitive world kneeling before the inevitable. But there was something they didn't understand about us. Something not written in their archives. Humans don't stay broken. In the hills outside Krakow, a small militia formed. Farmers, engineers, and old soldiers. They had nothing but hunting rifles and salvage drones. They were supposed to scatter at the first sight of an Archon patrol. Instead, they ambushed one. 10 Dominion soldiers entered the valley. None returned. The Archons scoffed, insignificant. But videos of the battle spread across the underground human networks like wildfire. Resistance wasn't futile. It was possible. That spark lit a fire. From the deserts of Nevada to the jungles of Brazil, from the Siberian tundra to the streets of Nairobi, humanity began to fight back. We couldn't match their technology, not directly. So we used what we had, our knowledge of terrain, our creativity, our unpredictability. We rigged traps from collapsed skyscrapers. We hijacked their drones with makeshift code. We turned sewer systems, subway tunnels, and mine shafts into labyrinths of death. Every time the Archon struck, expecting us to cower, we adapted. We learned faster than they thought possible. And for the first time in centuries, the Dominion started losing soldiers. At first, the losses were small, a patrol here, an outpost there. But the Dominion noticed something unsettling: every human victory was different. No repeated tactics. No predictable patterns. It was chaos, the kind of chaos no empire could model. One Archon commander remarked, "It's as if the entire species thinks like a soldier." The humans were weak, yes. But their weakness forced them to be clever. Their fragility forced them to fight like they had nothing to lose. And nothing is more dangerous than a species with nothing to lose. The Dominion decided to make an example. Their flagship descended over New York City, broadcasting surrender orders. If the humans did not submit, the city would burn. But instead of surrender, the Archons were met with silence. Then came the attack. Human fighters, scavenged, repaired, some practically held together with duct tape, rose from hidden hangars. They didn't aim for the warship's impenetrable shields. Instead, they targeted its engines, its vents, its exposed docking arms. Places no Dominion commander would consider vulnerable. On the ground, militias swarmed through the ruins. They planted explosives inside craters, used sewer tunnels to strike from below, even climbed onto the legs of Dominion walkers to pry open hatches with crowbars and grenades. For hours, chaos reigned. When the smoke cleared, the Dominion flagship was gone, forced to retreat into orbit, bleeding plasma and sparks. Humanity had survived the impossible. And the galaxy took notice. Across the empire, whispers spread, the primitives fought back. It was unthinkable. Countless worlds had fallen to the Archons without resistance, their people broken long before the first bombardments. But humanity, a fragile species of flesh and bone, had drawn blood from giants. Reports grew worse. Human resistance cells weren't just fighting back, they were learning Dominion technology. Within months, they had captured plasma rifles, reprogrammed drones, even reverse-engineered fragments of alien armor. For a species barely reaching into space, their learning curve was terrifying. Perhaps the greatest shock was this: for the first time in living memory, humanity stood united. Old enemies laid down grudges. Soldiers who once fought under different flags now fought side by side. Scientists shared secrets once locked behind borders. Nations opened their arsenals not against each other, but against a common enemy. The Archons had expected division. Instead, they created solidarity. And solidarity made us unstoppable. It came to a head in the ruins of Sao Paulo. The Dominion unleashed one of its most feared weapons, a war titan, a towering machine the size of a skyscraper, bristling with plasma cannons and shield arrays. They thought the sight alone would crush human morale. Instead, the militias cheered. Hundreds of humans swarmed it like ants. Rockets, mortars, and even stolen alien weapons pounded its shields. Engineers hacked its targeting systems mid-battle. Pilots dove their aircraft directly into its joints. Finally, a group of resistance fighters climbed onto its back, pried open a service hatch, and planted explosives inside. The Titan fell, and with it, the Dominion's aura of invincibility. That night, broadcasts spread across the stars. Smuggled human signals hacked into Dominion networks, playing shaky footage of the Titan's fall. A voice, rough, tired, but proud, declared, "We are humanity. We were supposed to be weak. But we will never stop fighting. If the Dominion wants our world, they'll have to kill every last one of us. And we promise, we won't go quietly." Billions across the galaxy watched in silence. For the first time, other oppressed worlds dared to hope. The Archons could have escalated. They could have unleashed weapons that would scorch Earth into ash. But they didn't. Because for all their arrogance, they understood fear. And humanity had shown them something that terrified them more than defeat. We were unpredictable. We were relentless. We were united. If the Dominion destroyed Earth, humanity wouldn't vanish. We'd scatter into the stars, guerrillas forever, a plague they could never contain. So instead, they withdrew. Officially, they called it a strategic redeployment. Unofficially, it was retreat. When the skies cleared and the warships left, Earth lay in ruins. Cities were gone, millions were dead. But we were alive. And more than alive, we were changed. For the first time, humanity had seen itself not as nations, not as tribes, but as one people. One species. Survivors. Fighters. We were no longer just another primitive world. We were a warning. The Dominion thought they were teaching us a lesson, that weakness cannot stand against strength. But in trying to break us, they revealed the truth: our weakness is our strength. Fragile bodies breed clever minds. Scarcity breeds innovation. Division breeds resilience. They came expecting slaves. They left fearing rivals. And now, whenever the Archons speak of Earth, they do not call us weak. They call us what we truly are. Human. And to the galaxy, that word will never mean weak again.